10% of the world population has some kind of disability. In Uganda, there are more than 4 million people living with a disability that was acquired at birth or as a result of an accident. However, this does not detract from the fact that people with disabilities are competent and capable people who have great potential to make meaningful contribution to society. The principles of employment are the same for people with disabilities as they are for those without disabilities. For an employer in search of a new employee, the key focus should be on whether the individual has the skills and aptitude to do the job and not on the person's disability. In many cases, you find people with disabilities are qualified, skilled and able to do the work just as well as their able-bodied compatriots.
Lydia has been a very professional employee of the university because being in the human resource office, she's helped us to deal with staff, talk to them politely and handle all their issues without major complaints. She is just great.
Uganda is the most progressive country in East Africa regarding people with disabilities. It has a strong parliamentary representation and has additionally made great strides to develop a conducive environment for persons with disabilities in a competitive environment.
The message today to the nation is that employing people with disability is good for business. Right away from the national objectives and directive principles of state policy, we are saying state shall make all measures to ensure that there are all opportunities for everybody. We have created an environment and a legal framework where we would like to have the private sector, because we are aware that once you're in a capitalist world, government is limited in terms of employment. Majority of the employers are the private sector. We are creating incentives, including tax waiver. And I want to bring a message to you, Ugandans, that under Section 22 of the Income Tax Act, we have provided for 12% of any person, reduction in terms of tax, for any person who employs 5% of his employers that are persons with disability. That is good business for you.
When we first interacted with people with disabilities, it was a pleasant surprise, because one of the myths that were broken was these people actually were as qualified as any other able-bodied people would be. One of the first things that myself and my colleagues actually thought would be an uphill task was to place a person with disabilities. But we came to realize that they are just as brilliant and they have just as good qualifications as other people. At NFT Consult, we look at the ability, not the disability. Hiring people with disabilities is good for business.
Marriage was God-given. It was a gift. Someone was given a gift of a husband. I teach Senior 5 and Senior 6, History and Divinity. My disability has not hindered my duties because I have taught for 10 years now and my students have been performing very excellently. Number 2, you can give us the second answer. Which other type of marriage?
Well, we are not actually affected as far as the disabilities are concerned, because if I look at the combination I offer, divinity, economics, geography and art, her subject is my bestly done subject.
When I just joined Senior 5, I saw her reading with fingers. I thought that I was going to completely fail, but to the extent, at least I have an improvement in my history subject. It's the best done.
If you are an employer interested in learning more about opportunities for all in employment, please contact Handicap International. Telephone 0414 501 358 or our partners at NFT Consult on 0414 237904.